like a worm in the storm. A hungry hunger inside of me. I can't be reborn. I'm a monster, spreading hate, stealing time. I'm a monster, laying base when it's cloudy. Oh, pilgrim inside of me. Tell me, what's my remedy? I'm a fraud, call me lion. A true psychopath, don't love me. When you're lost, take your trust. Yeah, that's me.
Hello, everyone! Going out to all the upstarts, rabble-rousers, change-makers, and those who are just here for a revolution, you are turned in to WNLR Neon Lights Roleplay for another episode of The World Within You, our bass-boosted, spray-paint-splattered take on Boy Heart Symphony by Minerva McJanda. For the next few hours, we will flip like shadows between urban playgrounds and nightmare mindscapes contained within, well, any major city in North America. If you enjoy Persona, Psychonauts, or simply seeing the wicked bend before the uncompromising ideals of the young, superglue that dial right where it is. Before the main event, be aware that Voidheart Symphony and the story we are about to tell will be one that meditates on the very real evils, great and small, that people subject each other to. While our players have safety tools in place and a mic in the booth, if you are catching the show across the airwaves, know ahead of time that we may touch on difficult topics. Listener discretion is advised. If you ever feel uncomfortable, you can cut the feed and jam to something that soothes your soul, hopefully rejoining us and our renegades a little bit later. For this episode in specific, we may cover policing underage people, gentrification and redlining, homelessness, misogyny, and racism. Of course, I have now prattled on for long enough, and we have a digital studio absolutely bursting with talent. So please allow me to introduce our cast. Let's start in that top left corner with the Leona Maple.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leona. You can find me all over the internet at the Leona Maple, and I am playing our favorite friendly neighborhood magical girl, Mila. Keep it locked.
Let's slide that intro on down. We're going county clockwise, gang.
I can't see the stream. Is that me?
Oh, sorry. That's you, Michelle.
It's me. Hi. Okay. Hi, I'm Michelle. And today I will be playing Sushi, our actual cat. Be in human playbook if you were wondering. By the way, Sushi's pronouns are they, them today, so please respect them.
All right, let's slide it over to Milan.
What's up? My name's Milan. You might know me on the internet as Mallard, but I am today playing the heretic, no gods, no masters, no genders, Jovan.
Our good friend in Land the Dan / Scott Reiser is not with us tonight. He has just had a big move, so send him very organized energy with all your brainwaves that you have available. And we'll close this one on out with Tate.
Me. Hello, Internet. Hello, Twitch. It is me, Tate Washburn, and I will be playing the Harlequin Jordan Karsten, who is here to make fun of everyone's assumptions and or commands when it comes to authority or being in charge of anyone other than yourself. And I'm just so happy to be here, guys. You have no idea.
Hell yeah. And I, of course, am Legendary Vermin. I'm your game maestra. I run the world when these fine folks aren't kicking in, I don't know, glass and spray painting things and generally causing a good and productive ruckus. With all that said, I think it's time that we get into the world within you. Now, as I believe some of you remember, we just landed in a place very, very far from home. Our wonderful and intrepid rebels have dove into the mindscape of Adam Cook by accessing a mural of a space station that they have just painted underneath the police station. And I think it's about time that we find out how exactly that's going for them as they cross the threshold. So I need somebody to roll dive into darkness for us as we cross that line.
Y'all want me to take it? Y'all want me to take it? All right, let's go. Oh, yes. So on point. Living for this music. That's a blood roll?
Yeah, that's a blood roll.
Okay. Oh, I think there's a pop-up that I need to find. Where's the pop-up at? Come here, pop-up. No? Did not like me? Oh, there it is. Strong hit! Woo!
Weehaw!
Yeah!
This is great news for me because it means we're saving all of your bad rolls for when the action hits.
Oh.
All right, so on a hit, everybody is going to appear in the shard in a safe place. And I want you all to tell me a little bit what's different. We're in a new kind of sci-fi place. How is your castle garb different this go around? Anybody who wants it first?
I have never in my life been at a loss for words, so I can definitely go first if everyone needs a second.
Go off.
Hit it.
Despite Neela opening the portal first, Jordan finds it impossible not to immediately sprint in. So, like his favorite feline friend, just pounces in. And as he lands, you can see what was like a loose black t-shirt and like black skinny jeans has transformed to something that's more high fashion and also fairly sci-fi. Like the boots become part of the pants in like this sort of swirling pattern that it's still black on black. You can only tell by the texture. The pants are now more of like a sort of stretchy elastic kind of material. The shirt is almost more like a rig. Like there's buckles and belts and things that hold it together in one place. And from this rig that is also the shirt, as he steps in, flickering to life is a bright red hologram jacket that still looks like it's the same style with like the big shoulders and like the high collar. But now parts of it, like the straps and buckles that were on it, are floating above the top of the jacket. His sword, however, and his quicksilver metal mask have stayed the same. They are still this liquid metal material that seems to flow freely as he moves, just a little behind him. And he sort of enters this space and is just looking around, thinking that there might be action. And I was like, oh, well. Yeah, everything's good. I don't see anything that looks like it wants to hurt me.
Yeah, I'm gonna work with Neela to decide where exactly y'all arrive on this space station. But who's next? Stepping through.
I think I'm ready.
Hit it.
Neela walks through, and she tends to look like a magical girl whenever she's in the void, whenever she's in the castle. And this is no exception. This one, yes. This one's just a little bit different, in the sense that it's a little bit more cowgirl. It is once again South Asian and Indian textiles in her outfit. The skirt is a sideways slanting high-low, so one thigh is more exposed than the other with these brown paisley motifs on it, hints of green and gold. I will show y'all after the break because I own the exact skirt, and I realized exactly halfway through my train process that I was like, wait, I know where I'm coming up with that from. I own that. She has paired it with very tall boots because that felt appropriate. And everything's a little bit Western, a little bit spacey. Her magical girl glaive definitely looks like the blades are a little bit lasery now than normal. Just a little bit extra spicy when you touch them, you know? So she kind of comes through, gives the staff a twirl, pops it behind her, and just kind of looks around since we haven't quite decided where we are yet.
All right, who's next?
I got it locked and loaded.
Let's go!
Fire away.
Stepping first is Jovan. Normally in the outside world is wearing this strange. Parts of it do get reflected. Stepping first, you see this big black combat boot, immediately followed by a leg that is in this skin-tight sci-fi suit that just continues so far up the body that it's almost a long john combined with like a tank top. And it's all black except for these two horizontal, like, deep blood red lines that go vertical, like, from the shoulder all the way down to the leg on each side, combined with this chunky utility belt and bandolier as one thing. And then the scarf that's normally around their neck has just become this, like, almost a tattered rag with a hood to be thrown over, and just the vibes of the grizzled, like, resistance commander you'd see on an apocalypse style world.
Hell yeah. Last but not least, Michelle, tell us what, if anything, is different about Sushi as we arrive in space.
Thing you see is Sushi's face come in, and normally Sushi has this sort of like like a palette, what's the thing that you call when you paint, like a painter's palette. But in this case, it looks a lot more like it's transformed, it's smoothed out. It's more of like this kind of hollow color palette, like a color wheel picker almost. And Sushi's ears, the speaker ears have slimmed, sort of turning into these like sci-fi floating in the air, kind of like little robot bits.
Oh my god! Are they like space cat ears?
They're space cat ears.
I'm dying! That's so good!
You can see like little sparks of visible sound waves coming out.
Oh my god, I love them, I'm dying, oh my god.
Maybe I should stop talking. But anyways.
I'm sorry, it's just too cute. I will shut up.
It's okay. As the neck comes in, you see it's the normal collar with the locket, but a paw comes through, and it's this sort of sleek base astro suit, but the paws and the tail, as a sort of like as Sushi sort of walks through, has this sort of glitter to it. Like the fur is the kind of sheen that blends in with the void of space.
Little alien cat.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, so as per the rules, this is my reminder to you that you have your signature weapon and any other gear that you get when you enter the castle. However, if you want something different, every single one of you can give up a gear item to empower a mundane item that you bring with you. You could treat it as a weapon with a perk for a flaw, or as a utility item that can be expended to do one appropriate thing. I don't know that we know enough about what we're facing in here to have come to any conclusions about what to bring, except for maybe pepper spray. Yeah, that is your prerogative.
I actually do think Jovan does not have their weapon.
Oh, right. Remind us what your weapon was.
Jovan's weapon was manifested in the castle from their lighter, and hasn't been carrying that for some reason. A good one, but just doesn't have the weapon at the moment.
Okay. Do you have something different in its place, or will we cross that road when we come to it?
I think Jovan still has. I manifest differently in this scenario, but the lockpicks that they always carry, and has just nothing on the other side for now.
Okay, cool. All right. So,
I was gonna say I might also want to switch things up.
Okay.
My gear is home cooking, which is expend when you shelter to let each rebel heal a particular condition. I don't know if I'm ever gonna use it, and I'm hoping to give her something better for gear. I don't know what, but I would like to give her something maybe more appropriate to this environment. Maybe a shield? I don't know. Does anyone have any thoughts?
I mean, I think it's appropriate to say that you haven't swapped your gear out this time because we not only know this environment, but if you're looking for something generalistic, it could be something like a lucky charm that you expend to reroll, or heck, a little toy like Nerf gun turns into a blaster if we knew it was sci-fi, but I don't know that we.
Yeah. I don't necessarily want something for this environment, but I'm just thinking of like what would be. Maybe this isn't a question that we have to answer now, but I
Also,
guess
I
like
could
what
see
would
that
a
being very useful because like we get
yeah
injuries.
yeah like I'm trying to figure out what a provider would have that might be slightly more useful, just because I think I've had this for an entire arc and I've never used it, and I'm like, then we can probably do something better. I don't know,
Time or two we
Game
could-
Maestro,
so I didn't
if you
know
have
that.
any. I don't know, Game Maestro, if you have any thoughts off the top of your head, or if we should sleep on it and come back at the break.
let's sleep on it a little bit. I
Cool.
will say, the usefulness of that is directly proportional to y'all taking the shelter action after a scuffle. So
Yeah, I don't know if we've done that a
alright.
whole lot.
Kinda want-
yeah. I will make sure to beat you all up better this time.
Okay.
I will ensure its utility. How does that sound?
Okay, thanks, I guess.
Jovan's whole castle thing is fighting, and
Monkey
is also
Bob.
unarmed this time. So
Oh boy.
Yeah. I need to get the children yay noise.
Hooray!
Yeah, exactly. For use on this show. Okay. So you arrive in this place. I described it before. You're basically at like a spaceport, and not just a spaceport. We're not talking Mos Eisley. It's not terrestrial. Y'all are in like a big space station, in what you would assume is a geosynchronous orbit, perhaps at the L3 point. You can see a moon on one side of you. You can see a planet on the other. And you're just kind of hanging out.
What is an L3 point?
It's the
Just gonna roll with
Lagrange
Jordan doesn't know.
Lagrange 3. Nobody? Fine.
I do actually.
It's a stable
Compared right
gravitational pocket.
I love
Created
science nerds
by-
so much.
A celestial body and a moon.
That's so cool.
Where you can just kind of park something there indefinitely.
That's so cool. I love science nerds so much.
Yeah, it's dope. So yeah, you're in orbit above this planet, traveling with the moon. You see it from all sides. The planet beneath is very much like our Earth, a mostly water ball. I'm gonna let you know right now, we're not going there. It's just for decoration. The moon behind you looks a little bit like one of Jupiter's moons. It's clearly very cold. You can see some movement on the surface. Large enough that it's maybe like methane sea. That's neat. And the station itself, you start in a safe place. You are in the kind of bustling area where ships come in and dock and leave. If we imagine that to have like, room for a dozen relatively small ships, paint for me a picture of where you all end up standing within this space. Leona, are you on a balcony? Are you stepping off of a ship? What's going on?
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of on a dock, like as if we've just gotten off a ship. There might be even like a ship behind us, even though it's not actually where we came from, but it looks like we came off that ship. I think Neela actually kind of like looks around a little bit and it's just kind of like, are we? Last time I know we were in like a weird nowhere space. Is that our home over there? Like, did we just travel to space, or is this like an alternative space? Like, what is? Like,
Well,
you see, you
uh,
scratch your head.
Unless they've been lying to us in geography class, that doesn't really look like Earth.
Okay.
Also, I
yeah,
mean,
the
I stopped
continents look
questioning
wrong on more than a cursory glance. Go ahead, Tate. Sorry.
Mm.
I was gonna say, also, I've stopped trying to, like, try and figure out the exact place and shape of this. It's
No,
it's
you're
all
probably.
some kind of psychic magic shenanigans.
You also see like the beings walking around you look I hate using this comparison. But it's like, what if you took Star Wars Aliens aesthetic, but you injected them with a very heavy dose of Zootopia? So they're all kind of like anthropomorphic animals, but funkier and a little bit weirder.
Speaking of, what the hell am I wearing? Why is it? It's very
Oh
snug.
God.
Fashion. That's what you're wearing.
Oh my god. Just looking behind, seeing the cape, and then the nothing to the imagination of the outfit.
Did you just
I'm
like
just saying, you
heads
pulled it
up
off.
to you?
I remember you saying long johns mixed with a tank top, and to clarify, where does that end?
It fully doesn't. It's like the shoulder straps, then bare arms, and it just goes all the way down. It's
I
a
mean-
one piece essentially. But
I
it
think it'd
goes
be
like
more
all
like,
the way to
how
the
far
leg.
does the armhole go down your side?
Yeah.
Oh.
We
I
talking,
think
we
it's
All
talking
the way
this?
down is your
We're talking-
ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like flat on both sides, but nothing. No.
It's like
Too
a
much, too
diamond
much.
cut all the way to
Oh,
like the
God.
halfway down the thigh.
It ends around the midsection of the ribs.
Excellent.
Well, we all look real different. Not a bad
Like,
look overall.
Yeah,
Put
the
my hand through
jacket
my
is cool as
jacket,
hell,
see?
Jordan.
He's gonna play with putting his hand through the hologram.
At this point, I
as
think
you move your finger through like there's hard light stuff all over the place. You can push your hand through it, but it tingles, kind of like your hand's fallen asleep as long as your fingers are betwixt.
A little spicy.
Yeah.
Sushi, just you know.
I'll have to figure out how to pull this thing off because I definitely want to do the trick I did before. You remember, Joe, the trick of putting it on. I gotta do that again.
That was sick as hell. Although speaking of, we gotta start getting into position. There's a lot of people here, and the second this crowd thins out, we're gonna stand out like a sore thumb, I think.
Yeah. Sushi, stop playing with that.
There's an alien rhino dude walking by. I feel like we are not at all weird by this.
The
crowd
alien
standing.
rhino's wearing a regular button-up, though. I'm looking like I stepped out of, like, a cantina.
Did you just like loafs a little bit, tail switching?
Yeah.
It just goes.
I think Sushi fits right in.
Yeah.
Sushi actually does fit right in, yeah. More so than any of the rest of you. There are definitely like quadrupeds scooting about.
I think the castle sharpened my teeth.
What?
My
You'll
teeth are
hunt
sharpened.
better. Good.
That is the most cat thing Michelle has said, which is saying something.
All right. Anyway, I think, first order of business, we should go eavesdrop on someone.
Yeah, the trick to eavesdropping is finding people who are worth eavesdropping on. So let's find that person. I think that's a good idea. I say too, like you said, whatever the equivalent of a cantina is, let's find something like that. And
Okay.
unless someone stops him, Jordan's going to attempt to do that thing he just said.
Lead the way.
Yeah, so you can travel the labyrinth with fleeting advantage because Neela put you in such a strong position.
Hey.
When you are leading a group through the labyrinth, roll +1 if you mark void, otherwise roll -1. If you've defeated an enforcer, roll +1, otherwise roll -1. And if you've spent time studying the vassal, roll +1, else roll -1. I'm actually gonna say, I don't think that you've studied the vassal. That's an important bit here. You've asked questions about them, but you haven't
Really studied them, that's fair.
studied him specifically.
Yeah, just his ex-girlfriend.
So,
Now, what is the...
so you would be making this at a -3, but with advantage,
And this is just
unless you mark void.
What's the stat?
No
I'm looking at the
stat.
thing.
No
Ah.
stat. That's the trick.
Oh.
Well, if we're all okay with stepping on rakes a little bit, I have a thing I'd like to do.
Go on.
All the rakes.
So, because I have the Sage Arcana, I have a castle move where when I reach out to a minion and call on them for aid, gain fleeting advantage on Travel the Labyrinth. I would love to attempt to make the acquaintance of someone passing by to ask directions to be able to do that, if
Okay.
that's possible. But that does mean I still have to roll cups, which I'm not good at.
I am
Actually-
fine with that.
It's basically doing an extra roll to get a roll, but I do think it's interesting if
Yeah.
this possibly
Do it.
immediately goes wrong.
Do it, do it, do
I'm
it, do it.
Absolutely for this. Give me just
I
a
also-
second to remember what the place I go to for stuff like this is. Oh man. There we go.
I also think you should do the Travel the Labyrinth roll then. Just saying.
Oh, do you
That's
think
a
we should just go straight to that?
No, I was saying
Because-
you should do that one after as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead
so
and
long as
make
this
your
doesn't go
cups
terribly
roll.
wrong. So, yeah, I'm going to roll and see. I believe it's just regular. Well, it's a weak hit.
Hey.
So, I'm either going to tick heat, minions and enforcers are coming, or the bond feeds on you and I mark a condition.
Say those options again.
On a weak hit, your mind touches the vassals, tick heat, or the shard pushes back, minions and enforcers are coming, or the bond feeds on you, mark a condition.
I think the first or the third is the most interesting here.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna do the first,
Okay.
probably. But I'd like to maybe play out the kind of person that I'm looking for, and that might inform this decision on how they react. So, Jordan looks around, and what he's looking for is not someone who, like, clearly officially is the person you should ask for directions, but someone like a dock worker or someone who looks like they work here and would know their way around, someone who looks like they know what they're doing but is not that important. And I'm
Okay.
imagining someone who is not like actively loading boxes up. Jordan's not trying to get in someone's way working, but someone who is clearly on break who would do that kind of work. There's a bunch of ships and stuff being loaded and unloaded, I assume, yeah?
Yeah. You see kind of like a big, fluffy sort of sheep person.
Mhm.
Like ram's horns kind of like arcing around the front of their face. Their skin has that like light fuzz. Really like clearly flat teeth. Yellow slatted eyes. And they look like somebody who works the ships around here, maybe in an above board way, maybe not. But somebody who comes and goes from a lot of spaceport type shenanigans.
Mm. Yeah, Jordan will basically just walk up next to them. Imagine they're like leaning on a box or something on their break or like against a wall. And we'll just try and like sit or stand or lean next to them and be like, "Hey, you look like someone who knows your way around this place. Mind helping somebody out? Just looking for directions." And you never really can trust the directions from a official type around here. You know what I mean?
You get kind of a sideways look and a nod as they kind of stack boxes one after the other. Well, I think
Take
that
that as a yes.
I think that depends a lot on where you're trying to head.
Oh, nothing too interesting yet, but I believe in making acquaintances when I arrive someplace new. Name's Jordan, by the way. Hold out a hand. These are my friends.
Tyrell Zephyr, and puts like a. It feels kind of like shaking hands with somebody who's wearing like a fencing crab gauntlet. Like they've got hard nails on the back of all of their knuckles.
Okay. Pleasure. For now, I'm really just, looking for whatever place is happening where, people make deals and talk and have a good time. I want to get a lay of the land.
Yeah. I think the place that you're headed to is the Pale Rose Underlight.
I think it's a sci-fi detail that there's like Jordan reaches for a pocket to like find something to take notes, and instead like a little hollow screen comes up.
Yeah, no, it's you like reach for where a pocket would be, and like as you touch it, hollow from the jacket comes off, and it's like a PDA or something.
Yeah. You said rose light something?
Pale Rose Underlight.
So just taking quick notes. Yeah. Well, thank you, Hyrel. Zephyr?
Tyrell, with a T.
Hyrel. Oh, Tyrell.
Tyrell Zephyr.
So, well, thank you, Tyrell. Mr. and Mrs. Other pronouns?
They, them.
Yeah.
Sheep
Well,
have a very nuanced
okay.
understanding of gender.
Yeah. I guess that would be like vocalized. Official title, Mr. Mrs. Zephyr, and I don't know what the response would be, but you can't be dropping a joke like that.
Claps you on the shoulder. Stop trying so hard.
Right? First impressions are important, but thank you. Sure, we'll see you around. And we'll turn around, come back. What direction would Pale Rose Underlight be?
So there are like signs up that direct you to like main concourse, or security or things like that. But I think Tyrell would have said that it's on, the main or it's just off the main concourse is how they would have put it.
I think that the moment still is like he goes, turns around and goes, "Ha! Oh, right, main concourse," and then I'll be seeing you. And yeah, unless someone else wants to take the reins, Jordan will walk off and try and find that place.
It'll be travel the labyrinth time at this point.
Yeah. I believe I get advantage. And shout out again to Michelle for program. It'd be -1 still though, so I'm not
No, it's -3 actually.
Oh, well then that's
Advantage, but -3.
so I guess that would be a 5.
Okay. So
That's where this
yeah,
goes, right?
here's where
This
we'll
isn't going
start it.
right.
So it's totally normal for coming home from a spaceport. Y'all, see the Star Wars Han Solo story?
Unfortunately,
I'd take that back.
he's the same character beginning to end, and I can't stand it. He changes nothing. They have to explain the goddamn dice. Not moving on.
Solid movie. Definitely shows us a real spaceport.
Fair.
Customs. You end up at customs, and you get your first look at the uniformed officers of this station. Each booth has they have a blue uniform, right? And it's got little epaulets with paler blue cord coming off the sides. The facial gear is completely enshrouding. So if these people are humanoid or animalesque, you can't really tell. They have like a that like plastic looking dark slat at what you would imagine is eye level, but no features. Even when they speak, it's like this highly distorted, stormtrooper voice, or the Combine Police from Half-Life 2. Sounds like that. And you try to make your way to the concourse, and as you kind of approach through one of these slats, a red barrier goes up before the four of you. Passes and papers, please.
I feel like it's time for someone else to play, but I'll definitely keep playing this off if no one else wants to. I'm just saying.
I don't know if I have anything that can help here unless we get into a scuffle.
Neither do I. That's the best part.
Let's see.
Oh,
I'm
do have
gonna
something.
remind you that you have a bunch of exploration moves, including flow like water, which would allow you to perform some daring athletics, power through, hurling your strength at some obstacles, see clear, try to read a dangerous situation, perhaps even reach out to form a bond with a minion of the vassal. Yeah.
I would be happy to roll see clear if no one else wants to, just to see what's.
I did
the
see
situation.
Jovan had a finger up just a moment ago.
Reminder that I can't use city moves within the castle, right?
Correct.
So we're
City
so
moves
we're
are for the city, castle moves are for the castle.
Right.
Okay, so only exploration moves.
My mundane role, however, has a specific ability. Oh, but it specifies only when I vent, so unfortunately I don't think I can.
No, you cannot vent here, unfortunately.
I believe everyone has a you can always ask thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you might have a useful.
Which
you
I
can
will
always
do
ask.
that. I was hoping the second effect would also be applicable, but it won't. I'll ask my mundane role. Who here is desperately yearning to be free?
Everyone.
Oh shit.
So, right, we're talking like Galactic Empire type stuff. The general people all in line are in this sort of agitated state where some of them are comfortable enough moving through this like customs line. Some of them are obviously people who like are worried about getting through, period. And some folks have clearly just been in the sort of lobby for this spaceport for a long ass time. But kind of a unifying sense is that like most of the people walking through here are frustrated by the difficulty of actually having access to this space. So with the exception of people who are clearly like rich or privileged, as you know, stated by their clothes or how they're carrying themselves, most everybody here.
I'm looking for something in particular. If
Hit me with
if
it.
there is something available, I'm looking for because it's a sci-fi setting. I'm looking for the person who has like the giant creature in a cage that is clearly not meant to be in an urban environment, like trying to transport some large animal or something that shouldn't be here.
Oh man.
Something that might go berserk if you freed it. Effectively.
Perhaps something
Hey.
like that might provide a distraction.
Can I provide some assistance here? Because I also have a mundane role question that I can ask.
Okay, hit us with it.
Who here is longing to express their wild side?
Oh man. Okay. So, to get more specific like that, you see that there is a sort of there's a palette. You know the pit droids from Star Wars?
Yeah.
Imagine those, but they look more like, you know, little tiny PC boxes. There is a stack of those. And all of them are just kind of like at the ready to spring open. That's my answer to you, Jovan. And to Sushi, you see a group of kids playing over in the corner. And they're playing, you know, they're playing bounty hunter with each other. Kind of going pow pow, shooting at each other from, you know, the benches and all of the other sort of lobby infrastructure that this place would have. Running around and generally being a little bit of a nuisance. But they've clearly been cooped up on a spaceship for a long time and could do with a wiggle.
I would also just like to tap in and say that I would really like to do the see clear roll. I don't care which order we do things in, I just want to do that roll.
Okay, great. Let's do that now then.
Okay.
You want to do that? So when you
please.
try to read a dangerous situation, roll plus coins. On a hit, you can ask me questions. The better you roll, the more questions you get.
Come on, roll 20. I feel like there's a leg. Oh, no. Choose roll type regular. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the other options?
Advantage, disadvantage?
Regular.
Okay. That would explain why I wasn't rolling. Weak hit.
Okay, on a weak hit, you get to ask me one question. Which exit takes me to my goal? What here is vulnerable? What can the enemies do? What should I be on the lookout for?
Ooh, damn, I'm torn. What should I be on the lookout for?
So it's clear that they're going to be able to block you moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you notice that there are, you know, those grates that stores drop over their entrance in the mall.
Yeah.
You see some of those. There are other doors, like smaller one-person doors, but the main concourse, there's one of those for any exit going out of the station. So this spot could basically be cordoned off.
Okay.
I think
I'm gonna.
narratively. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say. I think I'll look and see that like the. In my mind, Jovan would see like, oh, we need to get everyone looking at something else so that we can slink away unseen. So I think Jovan's gonna try and go over to the pit droid thing and use my equipment, the thieves' tools, to basically let them go wild, go crazy.
I will also say if it looks like they're going to look at Jovan, Jordan will make himself the center of attention to draw attention away from him. If that at all looks necessary. I even have a shadow move if that becomes necessary for that.
So we're trying to create like a distraction that will draw attention off of you all.
So that we can basically. I essentially my desire here is to cause enough of a ruckus that we can basically just blaze through the checkpoint because no one is reasonably manning it because things are going wrong.
Okay. So I will say, given the question that you asked, yeah, you can absolutely like set off all of these droids. And it's kind of like popcorn. You know, you hit one of them and then there's like pop 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 pop. Really quickly there is like pandemonium in this space. There are the guy who was bringing the droids on the pallet for inspection, all of a sudden is like, oh, my cabbages. The cops behind each of the slats, like some of them you clearly see just like shut down. And then the officer steps out. They move in this very like crisp robotic way. They are all sort of like triangularly built. With these like extremely broad top heavy looks. Yeah. So your option at this point, you have this distraction, you have time to move freely without necessarily being seen. How are you getting past the checkpoint? What do
That's
you
when I wanted
do?
my thieves tools to come in because it specifies as my equipment I can expend it, so this will be the only use of it, but I can breach any barrier or open. What's the exact wording? Yeah, extend to open any door or breach any barrier.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the
So
thieves tools in this one like come out and they're slightly holographic. It comes out like this like tech thing that I run my hand over, and it's almost like the little lockpicks come out of my finger as I. Javon doesn't know how to hang, but like it looks like I do as I'm using this tool.
yeah, I'm imagining kind of like a hard light bracelet almost. And then the
Right,
tool is like coming to your finger as you like flick to the right thing. And you just kind of like walk up, hand behind back. It's like pick, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Wall falls down, and the four of you cruise through.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? An invitation? And I will walk backwards through the barrier.
Welcome to you get through. Still no papers. So keep that in mind. The main concourse is this multi-level affair. It's kind of wedge-shaped. And there are long escalators moving like up and down between these different tiers, with sort of a central boulevard / park at the bottom floor in the middle. And these concentric platforms have, shops, seating areas, and things of that nature. You can almost imagine it like, what if you took an Aztec ziggurat and inverted it? And that's sort of the negative space impression that it makes. Pop, 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 all the way down to the center. Alongside that, there are, clearly areas that feed out into more traditional, like, street-type zones, all branching off. And you've made it to the concourse, but not all the way to the Pale Rose Underlight. What's next, gang?
Quick thinking, Joe. Thank you. I was about to have to try and put on a whole performance and action man my way through. That was a lot smoother.
Listen, if we need to get into some place, I mean, not just in the Freaky Mind Palace, but like outside, I've gotten into bars very easily, irresponsibly sometimes.
Why
I
would you
didn't
need
do
to go
anything.
there irresponsibly? Can't you just walk in? Sushi does not understand.
It's an
You'd be
adult
surprised
human thing.
how many places they don't want me in, and how many places can't stop me.
Not quite a circle, but yeah, let's go find this place. Looks at his little PDA. I think that he's opened it 3 times already to try and remind himself constantly as to like where they're going.
Yeah.
While we're walking, if I do spot like a pair of officers, I would like to stop for a moment to eavesdrop, if that's acceptable.
Yeah. Oh. Wait. Earlier, Tate, you did reach out as your move, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to tell you the symbology for what this minion means to the vassal. Oops.
Go on.
Perhaps we see as we leave. Jordan looks back and is struck by this symbology.
The way you're struck by how the way that Adam Cook has clearly divided up the world into those with authority and those who like you realize everybody who is not an officer here has something that looks dangerous about them. There is this constant assessment of like, is that just a person chilling, or is that like secretly a crocodile man about to gobble somebody up? You know how in Jabba's palace, like shit just eats other shit in the middle of whatever the fuck they're doing? You notice some of that going on among the people and creatures of this space. And there's an amount of it that's just like perfectly tolerated. Milan, you wanted to eavesdrop on some of Joanne, you wanted to eavesdrop on some of the officers.
Jordan sees all the eating going around. It's like, Sushi, don't stand on anyone's plates or they might think you're really Sushi.
Sushi has done a perfect loaf on like a really big fish plate and looks like a cat about to be just like this and
Picks
she
him up.
closes.
Yeah, don't do that. Picks him up. I'm like, mm-mm.
Not today. Jovan, as you try to eavesdrop, you realize that the messages sent between these like robot officers are specifically like encoded. It sounds, you know how the droids talk to each other in Star Wars through like bleeps and bloops? It sounds like that to you. Yeah, binary chirp.
Which sounds cute in any other situation except for this one.
Imagine RPG too, but with like low growly tones. instead
Oh
of
no
cheerful
no
RPG.
no no no!
Again,
no.
it's a little bit Combine from Half-Life 2.
Yeah, I don't
Fair.
see any moves that might be used for this, but I would love to try and see if I can at least discern some of what they're saying.
Weirdly, I think reach out is the right thing here.
Got it.
Understanding how these things think and feel, I think, is a form of making a bond with them. So go ahead and roll plus cups.
Ah, my worst ability.
Haha.
Oof.
Oh, a total miss.
Miss.
Okay. Well, great. This is good.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, for me, not for
Yeah.
you.
Not for us.
Mhm.
So, we're gonna go to break right after this. So, prep. You get close enough that you're able to start picking up on the chirps and beeps given off by these officer droids. And as you start to piece something together, they turn around and say, halt.
Damn it,
Suspicious
Jovan.
activity detected. State your name, your purpose, and the vessel that you came in with.
Oh. My name is Mark. I'm a spice trader, and I came on the Nautilus?
There's like a red like strobe that cuts across the eyepiece. Book him. And we're gonna start with combat when we get back.
Ah!
Take us out, Foxy. Hey everybody, we are back with The World Within You, and as we do every stream, we are streaming in support of a cause that is important to us. As many other streamers and many people across the world are right now, we are all eyes on Gaza. We are calling for a ceasefire, and we are asking you specifically to be a part of the call to action in your communities. There are a lot of different protests specifically happening on universities around the US right now. And many of those students in encampments are putting their bodies on the line to try and move the line when it comes to divestment from Israel. What we're asking you to do today is, if there is an encampment at a university in your city, go down, say hello, find somebody who is part of the encampment organizing and who you can talk to and ask them what they need. Maybe it's hot in your area and they need to cool down, so you can bring them some popsicles. Maybe they need water. Maybe they need gauze. Maybe they just need, some extra masks because there's a high density area. Whatever they need, any amount that you can help students doing this work, particularly the closer to home, the better. That's what we want you doing this month in the name of The World Within You. Yeah. Thank you, as always. Keep fighting the good fight out there. So, do I have my... Oh, nuts. All right. That music is too chill for what's going on because we just stepped in it a little bit. Before we left for break, Jovan had just run afoul of a couple of officers on the deck of this spaceship. And it's time for a little bit of fighting. one of these robot officers shoots out this little electrostatic baton. And the other one, their arm kind of retracts. And you can see like a small like object inside the arm that they are now pointing around like a cannon. It seems like they may have like a net launcher and a baton, and they might try to grab the group of you. What do you do?
I just want to add one thing before we get into it, which is that Neela walked out here, like walked onto this place with a lot of swagger, and it kind of started to drop significantly when we were kind of in that customs area. And so seeing Jovan approach, she's like, "No, no, no," and it's too late. And so she's just kind of like in this very goddamn it type of energy right now. And I don't think she's actually going to act first because I think she is kind of just a touch frozen for the moment.
I do have
Again,
a
I am never
first.
without opinions. You go though.
Yeah,
It's your-
I think because Jovan notices the danger first because it's happening to them. Goes immediately to reach into one of the pouches and is like, finds nothing. The pouches are apparently decorative on this outfit. And just,
Fucking fake pockets.
yeah, just like panics for a moment. And I'm pitching a move power through. I don't have a weapon, but I'd like to, like, as they're reaching for their stuff, just essentially try and, like, because there's the two of them, put my arms out in a T-pose and clothesline the both of them if possible. Not trying to do any actual damage, but just to knock them back or away enough.
It almost pressure.
Yeah, so power through is for like static obstacles, like non-person nouns.
See.
We're
Okay.
in confrontation. So I think pressure is the thing that you're trying to do here. You're trying to put the pressure back on them so that you interrupt their attempt to subdue you.
You know what? That sounds good to me.
Okay. Please roll plus swords.
That's my specialty.
Hey.
Another miss. Oh, not having a good one today.
Okay. Don't forget, for every miss that you get, you mark world while you're in La Dungeon.
So I actually, on the cups I missed earlier, that would have ranked up my world stat.
You can go ahead and rank up your world stat. We'll talk about the details of that in a moment. So, what I think happens instead, you do make that advance on them, but instead of distracting them, you are the only one caught in that net instead. They have an opening on you to inflict some damage at this point. Yeah. So, what are the rest of you up to?
I would love to step in unless either the other two have something.
I want to give Michelle the opportunity to go first.
Entirely fair.
If Sushi's got something.
So I think Sushi's feeling a little bit insecure right now, and when I say a little bit, I mean a lot insecure right now. So instead of, I think Sushi's actually going to hang back instead of doing anything like stand with me or pressuring, and is just going to just look around frantically. You can see sort of like once again those very visible like sound, almost like radio waves, begin to like echo out from the speakers. And I think Sushi's gonna try and I guess line it up.
Okay, yeah, sizing up the enemy to find her weak spot. Roll plus coins, please.
Alright, we're just gonna do this as a regular, and it's a miss.
Mark world. I
I also rank up.
Hey! We love to hear it. Okay. As you're trying to do this, there is another sound of like a net launching. And boom, you are also now trapped in one of these detention nets.
Liana, really quick, I assume do you have like good swords or not good swords?
What? Oh, my stat. I thought you meant my weapon for a sec there.
It's a very good sword-like appendage. But
No, my swords is a -1.
well, mine is 0, and I feel like pressure's the best way to get them out of those nets. But
You might want to do it. Because I won't do it. I probably won't do it. If I can avoid it, I will avoid it.
so just to be clear, there's just the two of them, or is there a third one? coming in?
There's as soon as the like book him call went out, there was like a little have y'all played Bomb Rush Cyberpunk?
Yes.
They have a police dispersal system in that game where there's these little tiny one-person sized elevators that pop up from the ground, and then a pig steps out, and then it goes back into the ground.
That's pretty cool.
We got one of those. Yeah, but are they just like sitting under there all day? Like, we're paying them to sit in a tube.
In a sci-fi setting, at this point, Jordan's like, "Are these robots? These might be robots." Anyway, yeah, I think there's the two right in front of Jovan. So he just very quickly to Niwa, like, save Sushi, and immediately run to the two that are right in front of Jovan that like have him in a net. And I would love to use a shadow move as Jordan just like right in their faces, his hand goes out, and from like the metal gauntlet that is his sword, it sort of flies out and forms into a full sword. And with it way off to the side, he goes, "Don't swing that baton. Don't do it." Like right at their face. And I'm going to use, and next you'll say, when you tell an opponent what to do next, mark void and make them pick. Do exactly what you predicted or stumble, hesitate or flinch. If they do what you predicted, show how they played into your hands and gain advantage on strike. Although I guess they don't have an opening, so maybe I need to do that first with something like line it up or pressure.
Yeah, do you need an opening to activate that move?
I need to for a strike. Not technically the move, but it says strike.
Yeah, you would get to retain any advantage you have on strike. It's not fleeting advantage, it's advantage on your next strike.
Cool, so I'm still gonna do that, but that's what he says. If they choose to do what I say, otherwise they flinch and hesitate.
What did you tell them to do?
Don't swing that baton at him. Don't do it.
They will swing the baton. They turn, swing the baton at you.
Yeah, well, that's kind of legit. What I wanted them to do was not strike at Jovan, give him a chance to get out of that thing.
So how do they play into your hands?
Well, and this is, I think, going to be part of the maybe line it up or pressure. You tell me. I'm gonna try and turn the sword into a hook and literally just bend that baton that the one of them is swinging at me into his friend instead of me.
That's intercepting a foe's attack, so that sounds like pressure to me.
Cool. Not necessarily good at that, but we're gonna find out. That's also a miss. I think I grabbed the baton with the sword and did not realize that it definitely conducts whatever kind of energy, electricity they're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you. How are your conditions looking?
I actually have no conditions. I've done a good job of paring those down.
How do you feel about getting zapped? Cowed seems like a potential option here.
I was gonna go with cowed or angry, but it's more angry at himself. Like, that was the most obvious thing. What are you doing, man? You're better than this. Like, he's criticizing himself for, like, that was very imprecise. You know how to parry this correctly. Come on, man.
Yeah. What do you feel he's thinking in this moment?
I think that he is being more critical of himself and angry with himself and this person more than that. I am also going to use a covenant move where anytime I take a condition in a fight, I hold one, which I can spend to reveal a weakness in the adversary's fighting style and give another rebel fleeting advantage against them.
Okay, fleeting advantage, not an opening.
Yeah, if I get 3, I can spend them to make an opening. But so I'm holding that. I'm not spending it yet.
Leona, it's all you.
I was told to protect Sushi, so I'm not entirely sure which move you would recommend for protecting Sushi.
I would say that's a stand with me, reaching out to bolster an ally. What are you
Okay.
doing though? What does
Um,
that look like?
have they fired a net at Sushi or no?
Yeah, Sushi done
She's
got
in it.
netted.
Then Neela is pulling out her glaive. She is swinging that thing, and she is going to slice that net so that it does not actually, like, hit Sushi and, like, allow Sushi to get captured.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll plus cups.
Okay. And this is just a regular roll. Oh, that's a miss.
Are we all? Wow, we just got like a bunch of misses in a row. This is amazing.
Yeah. Ow.
It's like amazing in a bad way, but also amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in a similar way. The like as your glaive like comes down to swipe at the net, one of those like electric batons cuts across the path, and is like now locked blades with you.
Damn.
You all can hear, the sound of, like
Lightsaber
additional...
on lightsaber?
Not lightsaber. Lightsaber.
Legally
fine.
distinct laser
God.
sword. Legally
If
distinct laser
anything,
sword.
if we're taking anything from the sound canon of Star Wars, it's the zappy baton that TR-8R uses.
Yeah. Oh man, the coolest stormtrooper.
Yeah. It's that it's like an electric baton situation.
Got it. I couldn't resist, sorry.
You're good. No, what you do hear is you hear the sound of additional feet approaching. Yeah.
This might be a very good time to run if someone can make an opening. Jordan says through clenched, electrified teeth.
I think if we're gonna restart the order back at the top, that would make it me again.
It is you again. So, yeah, you're under an ongoing danger, right? You're netted. So we can talk about what that means in terms of danger for the two of you. But what are you doing?
I think I'd like to try to line it up because they've netted me, but what they've actually done is given me something I can use. So I'm gonna try and unnet myself, and just I don't know what is the construction of this net. Is it all rope or is it like have weighted ends like a bolus or?
It has weighted ends, and it's not going to be like trivial to get out of, right? But it does have weighted ends, and it seems like you can see sort of like silvery mesh running through it, so it's not. It looks like it might conduct their batons.
Ooh. So unfortunately, Javon's fire hasn't been working, so I can't rely on that. I'm gonna try and like. I'd like to try and like wiggle out of the net. I don't know what role this would necessarily be.
Would dodge be it? I know the attack's already happened, but that's as close as I could think, thematically.
I actually think this is a situation because there's not a specific danger that you're trying to get out of. I think what you're doing here is you're flowing like water. You're trying to perform a feat of daring athletics. You're trying to Harry Houdini it.
Strong hit.
Hit.
Hey, okay. On a 10+, you pick 2.
Oh, easy.
You're where you need to be. Danger doesn't follow you. Another rebel can make the trip with you. I'm gonna exclude Sushi from that.
I can't grab
Sushi's
Sushi.
net. You're not gonna double net this. That doesn't feel like it's in the realm of the fiction.
The first one is the where you need to be is not in the net.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I guess I'll do that. I'll be where I need to be, and danger doesn't follow me. I don't know what that necessarily means here, but I think that means I can get up and reposition in a way that means I can stand up for the fight, ideally, again. At least next round.
Describe what happens. How does it look? Where do you end up outside of the net?
I think what happens is the way the net landed on me, like, I have, like, a leg in, like, a position where I can just, like, pick part of it off. And so the net tangles around me a little bit, but at least my legs are free enough that I can start moving away, and then with my arm eventually pulling it off and go and stand. Like, they've turned to face Jordan. I'm going to go the clockwise or counterclockwise the other way to be behind them to prepare for the next round.
Okay. Cool. Who wants it next? Michelle? Could be you?
I think
Yeah.
Jordan would say aloud to let someone else go. Like, if you guys got a way to get Sushi out, I have a way to get us away.
Fair enough.
Mila is technically locked in combat. Like, she is technically locked, so I don't think she's going anywhere, and I don't think she can actually do anything other than continue to remain locked. Can she? Unless she can, like, try to look for an opening within this lock?
You could. So, well, Michelle, do you have something that you want to do right now, or should I run through Neela's options really quick first?
I mean, you can run through those options first. I was just thinking of my true form.
Ooh.
That sounds very interesting. I'm just
Okay, but that sounds really interesting.
So what I will say to you, Leona, is that you can still do. I think the position that you're in, you could dodge to try and get out of this like locked position.
Got
You could line it up to try and turn the tides on this attacker, or you can pressure, to continue to be locked without necessarily creating an opening. But yeah.
Well,
Those are kind of the options.
pressure may allow me to expose an opening on them, which does sound useful.
Mhm.
I think I'm not good at swords, but I think I'm going for pressure. If that works, everybody.
Okay.
All righty.
Go for it.
Let's do it. She's gonna apply the pressure and see what she can do, because ain't no way she's not protecting Sushi. Yep, that's a miss. That's what I thought.
I'm gonna say
worth a shot.
they get that opening on you, and they are going to like get a strike in. So I would like to have you roll push through the pain. When you take a blow that strains your limits, roll plus conditions marked.
Okay. I have no conditions marked. What am I rolling?
You're making a flat roll then.
Okay. Is it on the sheet somewhere? Sorry.
I gotta look.
Under combat moves, push through the pain is on there.
There's no button for it. What dice am I rolling?
You're just rolling raw 2d6.
2d6? Okay. Just a flat 2d6.
Plus the number of conditions you have.
Yeah.
Which it has none.
Yeah.
6 and a 1, so 7?
7. Okay, on a 7, the pain hits home, you mark a condition and get fleeting advantage acting on it. Angry will boost your next attack, scared will help you dodge, etc.
Okay. So the pain hits home. I think Mila is honestly cowed.
Okay.
Yeah. I think she's scared. She's overwhelmed, she's insecure, but mostly scared. Like, this
Cool.
is
I
not
think
how
you
she
have-
wanted this to go.
I think you would have fleeting advantage to line it up, or yeah. To like find a way out is what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. For cowed, it's a disadvantage on vent and strike, so I guess I get fleeting advantage to find a way out?
In this situation, yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm suggesting. If you have an
Got it.
argument for something else down the line, that's fine. Sushi, you said something about a true form.
Yeah!
So it doesn't So the thing is, right, is that this shadow move doesn't really say anything about how, like, whether or not it gives an advantage or anything. It's just I'm just gonna read it to you. So my true form. You realize that the castle had a stronger hand in your creation than you thought. Describe how your castle form changes to reflect this. I can mark void to grow a useful organ or limb.
Okay. What useful organ or limb are you growing?
And I think with
Prehensile
this,
tail. Prehensile tail. Sorry, you go.
I'm just saying though, like, okay, so I was originally thinking about like a claw, like, you know, like more claws. But you
That
know
also
what?
is pretty
You
cool.
know what?
It's
You
also
know
pretty
what?
cool though. Just shredding through it. You do what you
Yeah,
want.
just
That sounds awesome.
but like, so like the paintbrush tail, it hadn't really changed much from when Sushi walked in, and I think what this is going to look like is that it looks like the fur sort of smooths out into this sleek, almost like segmented robotic look, and you watch as sort of like these large sort of, it turns into a thagomizer basically. It's got like these large spikes coming out of them, flared
Thagamizer.
in
I
different
just saw
colors.
Vermin mouth the words. What the fuck is
The
that?
spiky tail at the end of a stegosaurus is called a thagamizer.
That was
In our
amazing.
pre-recorded game we haven't released yet, we make that joke. It's part of the
Ooh.
character's name and everything. Anyways,
All right. Thagomizer it is.
Yeah, and I think what this looks like is like Sushi sort of like thrashes around with the tail just trying to slice, like just cut through this net.
Yeah, you marked void for that, right?
Yep, which is gonna be a problem because I'm now
yeah,
rank 3.
you are no longer netted. Anything else you want to do with that turn?
I have problems because I have just gained a rank in void. I'm at 3 now, so this is the problem.
if you have a way to get an opening that will prevent me from taking 2 conditions and a mark in void, I'm just saying.
Wait, do I have a way of what? Sorry.
If you can make an opening that will prevent me from taking so many things.
All right, then I'm going to
You
try
don't
to.
have to, but
Yeah, I'm gonna try to line it up then. We'll see if we can get some. So I think what this looks like is like the net just sort of like shreds itself to pieces, and in the surprise, I think Sushi just sort of like jumps up, takes an aerial view, and just I think is going to try and test the like in a large pounce and try to test the officer that Jordan is fighting for, or just or at least distract them. If that sounds more like pressure to you, then that's fine too. But I was
If
thinking
if you're interrupting an attack or launching one of your own, that is always pressure.
okay, because I'm not
Yeah.
trying to attack. I'm trying to like sort of like. I guess like,
I mean, you could argue that this is like you doing something to bolster an ally, which could be stand with me.
yeah. You know what? Let's go with that one.
Okay, roll plus cups.
Ooh, strong hit.
Hey, okay. On a 10 plus, they can also heal a condition or gain fleeting advantage. There is no longer an opening on Jordan.
perfect.
So, y'all are quickly finding yourselves surrounded though. A few more of these like robot officers are showing up, trying to close the area around you.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to keep the condition because I find it flavorful. I'm going to get fleeting advantage at this.
I'll also remind you, Jordan, you can call on that sheep man for aid.
It's rude to ask a friend you've just met to immediately help you.
Fair enough.
You know what? Despite Sushi helping, and this will maybe help so I don't have to do the full thing. Jordan's on a little bit of a spiral right now, and I'm enjoying him being bad at this. Jordan's sword goes away as Sushi gives him an opening, and he just sort of mutters behind him, "Everybody get ready to move." And I would like to use this castle move from the moon. When you reject your humanity and throw yourself into battle, say how your body twists and changes. For the fight, you may mark a condition to gain an automatic 6 on push to the pain, go somewhere to be impossible for you to go normally, or turn your limbs into weapons. I am doing this to mark a condition specifically so I can use the other move to gain a point. I'm going for the 3 points to make an automatic opening, is the vibe here.
Okay, play it out.
Yeah.
The camera's
so-
yours.
Yeah, Jordan's sword like retreats back onto his hand. He takes this like wide stance and his arms go out, and instead of the sword molding like liquid metal, his limbs do. They become like long and flexible. His fingers go out to these impossibly long, sharp fingertips. Like his whole arm is a blade. He gets taller, and his jacket isn't a jacket. It looks more like it's part of him. In this setting, I think he looks almost holographic and mechanical for a moment, as the liquid mask covers the whole of his head down to like through his chest under his clothes. He looks like a demonic liquid metal Slender Man for a minute.
Yeah, the liquid metal is also like boiling.
Yeah, it roils
Yeah.
uncomfortably. He does not look quite human shaped. I'm taking callous. It feels like that's the appropriate thing there. And with that and the advantage, literally just did that for the condition, but I think it's a thematic. I'm going to try and line it up, because now I have cleave, close, and tether. I feel like is appropriate. I'm effectively going to try and sweep the 2 guards that are in front of me in line with the guards that were behind me where Sushi is, to try and line them all up so that we are on one side of them and they're not surrounding us anymore.
Yeah, you clear them to the side, and
Well, that I
there's
feel like it's a roll, but
no.
no,
You get an opening. You do it.
I mean, I don't technically just straight up get one, I don't think. I only
You
have
said-
2 conditions.
Oh,
I
you
need
have
a
2
third
conditions.
one.
You need a third one.
If I fail this, they will pay attention to me and hit me, and I assume I'll get a condition and be able to give it anyways, was my plan.
Okay, so you're trying to what?
Line it up. I'm trying to push them all into a position where they're different, and I feel like that's line them up to give us that opening.
This is an attack.
Please.
It's pressure.
Oof.
Sure thing.
Sizing up
Totally
an
fine.
enemy. Sizing up an enemy. It's analytical. It's thinking about them. You might be
Okay.
fighting them, but it's not about launching an attack to do it. It's about the mental work.
Entirely fair. Yeah, this is very forceful, and I'm not good at this, but I'm hoping they'll get the advantage from Sushi.
Yeah, you have fleeting advantage on whatever you do.
A weak hit.
Okay. On a weak hit, you can pick one. Expose an opening, pin them in place, or give an ally a window to act freely.
Yeah, I'm trying to make an opening, so if someone can go between then and like now and when they do something against me, that would be great. Because right now, Jordan, monstrously, gurglingly, we need to get out of here, as he starts sweeping them to the side with his extremely uncomfortably long and weird limbs.
I will remind you all that flee simply consumes an opening
Exactly.
to do a
Exactly,
scoot.
please and thank you.
I'd be happy to exploit that opening to get everyone to flee if possible.
How we
You or
scoot?
Neela, either of them.
It says all of the rebels come with us, so I think I
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go.
All of the rebels can. Does everybody?
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, as long as we can get Sushi out of there, Neela will come with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so I
she's
think-
already moving.
Okay, perfect. Then she's running because she's scared.
I think the last person to leave would probably be Jordan, and Jovan like sees that Jordan's still drawing attention, and I'll just like point out a direction we can go just to fucking get out of here.
Yeah. What part of the opening are you using to foil pursuit.
I think they're all looking at Jordan in such a way that they've circled around, right? Because that's what the plan was, right? They've all.
Yeah, it was. I just swept them with a big arm, so they're all on one side of us and not surrounding us.
I'm gonna look the other direction and just clock a path of like, that's very parkourable. Let's just go up that building. The way that these guys are constructed are not agile.
Not
right?
agile.
Yeah. We need to use our non-mechanical nature and our non-rigidity.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
how Jovan specifically does it is like Jovan jumps up the wall first and just has the arm down to pull each individual person up as they're coming.
Sick. Y'all scurry up the sides of a couple of buildings onto some balconies and sort of swing your way into the further reaches of this pavilion, eventually making your way back down into sort of a side alley. You're safe for now. You can still hear some of those things moving around near you. What are we doing?
We could take shelter.
That does seem like a worthwhile thing to do right
Neela,
now.
you still have the homemade cooking that you want to
Oh
sell
yeah.
them.
It doesn't necessarily have to be food, right?
No,
Home-
it's
home cooking is like a suggestion.
yeah, like that's what it's called, but I'm pretty sure like it can just be like she packed granola bars or something. Like there's ways to make it work.
Yeah.
Orange slices.
Yeah.
I like the image as Jovan was helping everyone up that Jordan, like, looks like he doesn't need help because he's so weird and tall, but it's like wearing off, so Jovan has to grab him by the bottom of the like back of his collar of his like black shirt. and pull him up
I
as
love
he
the idea
loses
that-
the liquidity.
So to be clear,
I-
the one person I didn't scruff wasn't the cat. I scruffed a human.
Sushi can make it up there easy. Jordan
Yeah.
looks like
Sushi's
he's about
tail
to,
is
he
just, like-
loses it.
I feel like Sushi's tail like grabs your leg. It's like this long prehensile like.
The Thagomizer
Yoink.
like grips it, kind of like a sea urchin.
Yes.
Sushi, this feels exactly like the time I went to a touch tank and the octopus grabbed me.
Jordan
Yeah.
gurgles a little bit in laughter as he becomes more human. Just don't make me laugh when I'm doing that. That hurts so bad.
Are you okay?
You're like
Kinda.
some ichor like drips off of you
Mhm.
as you go back to like a fully human form.
Is it
It's a little Quicksilver out of the Quicksilver mask, even. Just,
Jordan? You have to answer honestly.
Mm?
Are you a T2000?
Oh, what?
I mean, maybe here I am. I would assume in the fantasy one, the first one, it would be more like a creature of the lake kind of deal.
Interesting.
Yeah, and in you probably had like a little bit more of a funhouse hall of mirrors in the last one.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of a new thing. Like, I could technically do it the whole time, but this is the first time he's done it. I feel like something inside of him knew he could do it, and just never had vocalized it until this moment.
Well, I mean, like you saw last time I got us two into trouble specifically. You know, one of us. Why do one of us keep transforming? You remember the wings.
Those are pretty cool. I feel like that's more awesome Phoenix vibes, where this is more Eldritch Horror.
Yeah, no
yeah.
kidding on the horror. And you see Neela is like, you're not quite sure where this little like mini backpack has come from, but she is like anxiously like scrabbling through it. And she like,
The safe spot first, though, which means someone has to roll wands or find shelter.
Yeah.
oh, I thought we were at the shelter, my bad.
No. Yeah, you do have to make the move.
My second stat is wands. I could do it if no one else is better.
I got a 1, but
I have
also
a 1.
I just leveled, so I was. Well, actually, no, I got a 1 too. So I was
We
gonna.
all have a 1 in
well, Sushi,
1.
didn't you have some move about finding shelter?
I
Or
have
no?
I have a move that lets me when I travel the labyrinth. Guidance.
Ah.
What I do have though is I do have a portable hole, and I never actually selected what I got from World. So if you want, we can add a portal to our hideout leading directly to the target shard.
I'm if you're okay with it, I'm gonna argue that Neela is so freaked out that she's immediately going to find shelter.
Fair
I think
enough.
That's fair
Yeah,
in
sounds
character.
good.
Very
Okay.
fair.
Cool. Thank you all
Fire
for your
away.
Help action.
I
correct?
appreciate your consent.
There's
Wait.
there's not really a help action in this game.
Sad face.
Sorry to say.
I don't think I get fleeting advantage. No, Venton strike, so definitely not that. So I'm just gonna do a regular roll.
Cowden finding shelter? Hold on. Yeah, absolutely take fleeting advantage on finding shelter.
Oh,
You
okay.
didn't already use it, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Go for it. Fleeting
Okay.
advantage. That makes perfect sense. You're scared. You go to ground.
Yeah, fair enough. I rolled a 6 and it was a miss. What would fleeting advantage look like? Because I clicked it before
you
you
get to
said
roll
so.
one more die.
One more die. Do you want me to just
Yeah,
roll
that's
another
fine.
d6?
And you take the two
Yeah,
at
roll
highest.
another d6 and we can look at the roll.
If it's
and
higher
figure
than
out.
2, you're good.
It's a 2.
Dear Lord.
Dear Lord.
Dear Lord.
Chat didn't happen to give us a +1 at any time, did they?
No.
You failed us, chat. You failed us.
Chat. Chat. The one
blame
time when we
chat.
needed you, chat.
Don't blame chat.
Don't
Yeah, we're
blame
gonna blame chat.
Don't blame chat. Chat's doing their best. They're doing their best.
The shelter you find is fleeting or deceptive. You're plunged into danger if you can rest. Oh, I hate this.
This is excellent.
So, tell me about where
makes
you try
sense.
to find shelter.
I think it kind of makes sense because Neela is so panicked by everything that is going on that she's not thinking straight. We're on what? The roof of a building?
Yeah, balconies.
Yeah.
It's, so spaceship. So there's not like a top to anything.
yeah.
Unless it's a balcony or like one of those terraces that I was describing before. You could be in an alleyway. You're in a space on a spaceship that is also a city.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to argue that this is a very high balcony and that Neela tries to kick in the door of whatever passage there is for this balcony. And that this is probably a terrible idea because that's not ideal. And I think she immediately she's just trying to get out of here. She sees a door, she kicks it in, and it's a bad move.
Yeah. I think that's not right. That's not the vibe.
It's like that doesn't seem like the vibe
There we
for
go.
false shelter.
Yeah, no.
You kick in this door. And in an improbable twist, the way that the labyrinth of the castle works, you all find yourselves sort of like tumbling in to what appears to be some sort of like chute.
Oh Jesus.
And you are sliding through the insides of this spaceship. Until, eventually you find yourselves landing in what is some kind of like back room mechanical area. There are moving parts, and this seems to be like an industrial waste processing type situation. You've landed on a conveyor belt, and there is an incinerator and several like crushers in a very video game-esque way that you are slowly being or relatively quickly being carried towards.
Oh no.
Could I reach out now?
Yeah, Mark Void. pal.
Cool. I'm very close to getting my 3rd rank in that. Yeah.
Jesus.
I think at this moment, Jordan, who's like already twisted themselves in some ways that don't feel comfortable, is looking at that and like, nah, I don't think I'd actually survive that, despite what's just happened. Some part of him, some mystic psychic part, is like, huh, I wonder if Threll had a good way out of this.
How are you getting Threll?
Tyrell.
Krell?
Tyrell.
Tyrell.
In character,
Tyrell?
in character.
I'll take any of
Jordan gets
those.
Jordan gets it wrong for a second, and some voice in him is like, Trell. He's like, oh yeah, Trell. And if you permit me, perhaps he watched our escape and saw us taking in the wrong door and has some kind of door open in this passageway to help us out. I mean, you tell me.
I think, yeah, it's, you see up above you, Tyrell is standing there, like, clearly having dumped some, space waste into the incinerator situation for reprocessing, sees you all on the conveyor belt, and is like, need a hand?
Yes.
Where
Don't
did you
worry,
come
I
from?
changed arc.
And a second conveyor belt comes out, like a little rescue conveyor belt that's headed out and away from danger.
That's so video game. I love it.
What are you waiting
Blade
for?
hooks onto it,
Hop on.
pulls himself up. It's like,
And
ugh,
you-
I am forever in your debt. You have saved us from so much. Who knew they were so picky about paperwork around here? Jordan's just babbling as he lays down. He's exhausted. Ah,
Neela scrambles onto the thing.
I see you don't waste time making friends. And kind of touches an overall pocket and shows the, like, footage from the central plaza of the 4 of you.
first impressions are really important.
Can't say I blame you. The boys in the blue around here are something else.
Yeah. Where I'm from, they don't do the tube thing. That was surprising.
Yeah, was probably a remote drone trash chute that you found. You clearly don't spend a lot of time out here on the rim.
I'm
Come
gonna
on.
let people talk. Jordan's just yeah.
Are we sheltered technically or no?
Let's go to the scene real quick.
I'm gonna say,
It doesn't super matter. I'm just curious.
well, so you didn't succeed on your move.
No.
So the answer, I
Or
think, is no.
Reaching out says I could. How do they reshape the landscape or occupy the threat's attention?
for a while.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like reshape the
Yeah.
landscape might be just add +1 to that roll and find us the real shelter.
No. You're literally spending a resource to do the thing. So if shelter is what you need, shelter is what you get.
Yeah.
Come on,
She'll-
follow me.
Milo was
And
just 1 short. We're just changing a little.
you follow this big sheep man off to sort of through a couple of passages, opens a back door somewhere, and you come into this room that's got have you ever been in like the back room of like a Blockbuster where like some employees just like clearly hang out there and watch movies both on and off the clock?
We built a little away space in the warehouse I worked at in early college that was just like between stuff. There was a TV and a couch back there. It was great.
Yeah. That's the vibe. But plus Star Wars. So there's
TV and
this
a hologram projector.
yeah, there's this holo projector. There's a space chaise longue instead of like an actual couch, and then like a like a bunk, sort of like a cubby cutout seat with a little game table. So feel free to find shelter, gang.
I
I'd
think.
love to use a shelter. Oh, you go, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say. I think Neela, just before she like goes fully into shelter mode, collapses into a chair and she goes, "Can I ask you a question?"
Who are you talking to?
Tyrell.
Yeah, of course.
What exactly is this place? The Rim. Like you mentioned it, but technically we're not from around here.
We kind of blind jumped on a ship and just kind of got out the first place it got.
Yeah, I suspected it was something like that.
Not
Well-
technically stowaways, but like
You don't have to explain yourselves to me. This is Arid Station. The Rim, well, it's any of these less civilized parts, if you know what I mean. Places where a little more rough and tumble. We see to things our own way out here. Between, the corpse and the gangs and the law, there's a life to be had.
Is there? I don't know. I'm just saying. Speaking of first impressions, not a great first impression I've had of this place.
Your home a lot different?
Yeah, a lot different. In some ways, a lot similar, but in some ways, a lot different.
Well,
got a point. Could be much better. Never settle for what you got. Jordan has flopped on the floor completely. Like, not even the couch, just on his back.
Joe is just kind of like staring out of whatever window or blinds, just watching for danger and kind of intentionally trying to be away from the group for not wanting to be in the midst of the conversation but close enough to still hear.
couldn't say we have all the luxuries here, but it's like anywhere. You get by.
It's
Yeah,
not
I-
exactly lacking for excitement.
Yeah, I guess
And
I can.
that's something, ain't it?
Yeah, I can understand all that. I guess. Well, thank you for the information. And she goes back to digging through her little backpack, and this time she actually pulls out the granola bars and gently tosses one next to Jordan. And she goes, "Here, this might help."
He catches it out of the air. He's like still keyed up in this monstrous state a little.
Damn.
And so it's this like he doesn't think about it, just this quick silverly fast. He does
Jesus,
think about that for a second of like that's
not normal.
natural.
That's
not
not normal. So this is the home cooking. Expend when you shelter to let each rebel heal a particular condition. And so there are granola bars.
Particular condition is what that says?
Yeah, that's straight out of the playbook. Expend when you shelter to let each rebel heal a particular condition. I don't know if that just means a singular condition or like if it's
That's
oddly specific.
That is such a peculiar wording.
Yeah.
Let's for simplicity's sake, anybody who has a condition can reduce the number of conditions they have by 1.
Yeah.
I don't
Um,
have any conditions. Can I
That's fine.
give? Can I just give Jordan
I don't
my?
think that.
No.
No,
Well, because I was
okay.
about to use mine as well in case anyone else has two, but if nobody else does, it's not that important.
so yeah, she passes granola bars to Jovan and Jordan, and to Sushi she has cat treats.
Um,
Yum, yum, yum.
so reminder, we're treating this as a hit. And I'm treating this as a 7 to 9. So you can comfort another rebel, healing one of their conditions. You can each encourage another, or you could each encourage another rebel, or you could each use your playbook's shelter move. That was gear that you had, right, Liana?
That was gear, yes.
Okay, not your shelter move.
Not my
So
shelter.
you
move.
get to do two things.
I do indeed.
Yeah. So, what are you all going to do?
I mean, I was gonna also use shelter move if I'm allowed to, but if I don't need,
You haven't used a move yet, right?
nah, not in the
Yeah.
shelter.
Good. Go.
However, if I didn't have a condition to heal, I would do something else. But I don't want to be. Strangely enough, I don't want to be too hasty as much as Jordan would. You know what? Jordan would.
Just before we move forward, does expending that piece of gear and that wording, does that allow me to also heal a condition or no?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
It says each rebel, right?
Each rebel, yeah.
That includes you. It's not each other rebel.
Fair enough. Just checking. She's no longer scared.
Well, yeah. Then I would use a shelter move just because thinking about it, Jordan would just immediately do this as he flops down. His sword shapes itself into almost like a small ukulele or string instrument shape, and you can actually like pluck the sides of it as if it is a string instrument. And it makes like a metallic sound, and he's jamming. That's how I'm going to use my shelter move. You kick back and relax, say how, and anyone who joins you erases a condition.
Aww.
Aw.
But gains fleeting disadvantage. I don't know if that means I actually heal a condition or not, but I am.
I would argue that one does not actually heal a condition for
Yeah.
you.
But it
Does
is an
anybody else
impulsive
have
thing
conditions
that
they need to heal?
Jordan would do regardless.
I only had the one.
No, I only had the one. Sorry.
I mean, if we don't make it a move, I would encourage another rebel, but I don't want to do something out of character just because mechanically it makes sense, you know?
That's
No,
fair.
so, fair enough. Like, do what you need to do.
Yeah, do what makes sense for you.
I mean, Neela is the provider. It is in her nature that she's immediately just gonna start flinging smacks at people. But that does not mean that like that is just how she is. That does not mean that it's not also in your nature to provide comfort in this way, right? So I think that makes sense.
Jovan polishes off the granola in like a second.
Hell yeah.
Thank goodness, breakfast.
Do you want more? Hey, my God, here. She like pulls out 2 more.
I'm going to intensify a crew covenant and encourage Neela.
Okay.
You you really saved you and Jordan especially. Jordan's definitely out of it. Just looking at Jordan on the floor, like vertical, but
Yeah, flat on his back, playing a made-up instrument that he's adjusting the shape of in real time to try and get the sound he wants.
you jumped in there real quick, even though I was doing something stupid.
I'd have done the same thing
I
from the floor.
no, I honest to God, I feel like I froze. I admired you for doing the thing, even if it was dangerous.
I didn't have my weapon, so I probably shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Okay, maybe don't do that next time, but
God,
She
I
kinda
want a
like-
cigarette right now.
Neela looks at her back and she goes, "Don't got one of those." But you can see the
Yeah.
effect it has had between the snack and your words, and she kind of like seems a lot calmer, and she's like, "Thank you."
I think that increases our mutual crew covenant.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
So that increases based on the wording here, intensifies their crew covenant, I think is going to take Neela up to intense from bright.
Okay.
Specifically the gardener, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Boom. Hey, follow-up question. Castle moves. When do we do those? Because they're not really on the reference sheet, right?
You can do a castle move whenever you're in the castle.
Oh, shit.
I've used like all 3 of mine in rapid succession as part of other things.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. I just think I never fully understand that, and I always forget that they exist until I look at my sheet.
I think while we're in shelter, if I'm allowed to do my castle move, I definitely would.
Do it.
Yeah.
What is it?
Just like when I grew the wings, it has other options. When you improvise a ritual to protect from danger, grant a temporary ability, or make a potent weapon is an option.
Okay.
I need to roll coins, which is so funny that I'm bad at coins, because
Yep.
that's, like... I'm terrible at cups, and I'm bad at coins. And I have so many things that use those. We
Hey,
get.
we get.
So I'm gonna make a potent weapon, which is 2 perks, 1 flaw. On a hit, it works at least for the delve, and on a 7 to 9, the architect will give your magic a weakness, quirk, or unintended side effect.
Okay. Tell me what you're making.
Jovan is realized at this point, like, I'm not smoking at all. Like, quite literally, the smoke effects that happened the first few times that they delved is just not there. Whatever effect they had has smoldered and gone out. And so fire is not a thing anymore, apparently. In addition, because I gained a new rank of Void, technically my castle form is supposed to shift a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that manifests with another change to their myth aspect of their castle form. If you'll allow this, GM, at least for the moment, I think in keeping with like the eyes aesthetic and the like wigs and like the rings around it, for now I'd like to make a weapon that is essentially the flame is gone, but I'd like there to still be light as an option. And like the almost like the holographic wristband, I just want to make like a golden bracer or something like that, or like a bangle on one of the hands. And the idea I have for this is that it fires beams of light, uh, with its perks being long range, piercing, but also fragile.
Yeah, cool. I'm into that.
Hey.
So I get to reveal what? An unexpected downside, you said?
Yeah, it has some sort of flaw, quirk, or weakness, or unintended side effect.
Unintended side effect is pretty broad. That's interesting.
But the way the castle form shifts really quickly is that Jovan instead has like... I think Jovan doesn't even notice, but there's like small like... They don't work yet, but they're like small wings that are starting to develop on the back that haven't grown out yet. They're like nubs that appear for now behind the shoulder blades.
Like the scarf starts becoming wing shaped in the back, maybe a
A
little.
little bit, yeah, maybe, I think.
Ooh.
Okay. A quirk. It charges. You have to charge this weapon up. So it pierces, so it can hit pretty hard against a big target. But you can't use it for 2 moves in a row. How's that feel?
So it's pierce, long range, fragile, and charge.
Yeah.
Definitely down
Interesting.
for it. It only lasts for this delve, unfortunately.
Okay. Who's next in terms of taking a pick on find shelter?
I
sure
haven't
that's
gone, I think.
Hit me.
All right. So I think Sushi's sort of vibing with the music, but isn't actually really paying much attention to it. I would like to use my shelter move.
Tell me about it.
So Sushi can tap into the thoughts of a nearby enforcer. The architect will describe what they can see and hear, and you may ask a question about what they're thinking and feeling.
The many or the few? Tell me.
No context, just vibes. Go.
No
Yeah.
context was 5. The many.
Okay. You hear and feel and see a cacophony. You experience a sort of distributed consciousness for a minute. Of a sort of network. It's like being part of like a fungal network almost of individual bodies noticing, acknowledging, and passing information to one another. And you see many parts of the station that you've already seen from new angles, and then you see parts of the station that you don't recognize. An almost cleaner space hidden away from most of the residents. This enforcer is everywhere at once and constantly assessing their surroundings, trying to decide what is a part of them and what is apart from them. You get a feeling of judgment, perusal, and self-assuredness from this consciousness. Does that answer the questions?
That answers all of them except for the last one, which is I can ask a question about what they're thinking and feeling.
Yeah, go for it.
Hmm. What they're thinking and feeling. Let's see. Did they ever get tired of this? Of their process?
Bravo.
If there is a part of it that gets tired, one of two things happen. The work is distributed and covered for without question, or the weakness is excised.
Yuck. Sorry, out of character. Yuck.
Fucking if I heard that in character, it'd be like, yuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But also deeply fascinating and well done, Vermin.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I write things. Who hasn't taken their move? I think it's just you, Liana.
Yeah, I think it's just me. I would like to oh god, what's it called? I just had it in my brain. Encourage another rebel and intensify their crew covenant. But I'm gonna leave it up to y'all. Who would like their crew covenant intensified? Because I feel like Mila can go any which way, and I'm not sure which way. Oh my god! Raid! Hello, roll for
Raid.
perception. Thank
Oh,
you, roll
wow.
for perception.
Hey,
Welcome
my
to the
goodness.
raid.
Yay!
Hey!
And like
Welcome,
looked
everyone.
over.
Future space cops.
Welcome,
Yeah.
everybody.
It didn't go well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're licking our wounds. They're licking their wounds. I did just fine.
You did excellent.
Yeah.
You
Cops
did
did.
excellently, the rest of us.
Mine's intense, so unless everyone else's is bright, I feel like you should.
I'm at
You
faded.
can't go.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Oh.
That's a no-brainer. I'm
Sushi.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. I'm just gonna jump on that then because
yeah, what are you doing to encourage Sushi? And Sushi, how's that feel?
well, I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, Sushi, but you're just legitimately just licking your wounds and grooming right now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Sushi also has like this sort of like weird like if a cat could have a scrunched up face, like
Oh,
nose is like perked up, like eyes are like squinted closed, and there's like sort of
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, my
little
cats make that face all the time when they
Yeah,
smell
yeah,
something chemical
that that disgruntled kind of vibe to them. Yeah, and I think Neela is a lot calmer, and I think she goes over and like sits next to Sushi and like offers like pets and scritches and goes, "I love the new tail."
cool as shit. From the floor while playing music.
Are you okay?
Mm,
It's okay to not be okay.
I am as well as I need to be, which is and Sushi like licks another like I think it's a bit of a like a bit of a bruise from where Sushi got netted. And
Yeah.
just I am as well as I need to be.
You don't have to be. It's okay. This place is weird and scary and yucky. And it's okay to admit that. I'm certainly not a fan of it. But you're being very brave. Oh! Oh!
Maybe even beating the previous statement of most cat-like thing Michelle has done.
Ah! My feels! Ah!
Real Quicho moments.
I think Sushi just sort of like so ears folded down just kind of like flops onto like just flops under your shoes unless you're sitting down, in which case Sushi's gonna flop onto your lap and just go,
Sitting down.
well, you can make me feel better if you give me some more scritches.
I can definitely do that, and I've got more treats for you too. She immediately starts giving more scritches.
And I appreciate it.
It's gonna be okay.
The best human.
Yeah.
Like I think Sushi like sort of like just
resent
gently nicks your like gently toothes your finger as you like from the cat treat.
Yep. That makes sense. All right. Brighten up that covenant, or whichever step it needs to be at.
Yeah, so we go from faded to bright.
Hey!
Hey.
Good job, us.
All right. You've had a minute to kind of level things out. However, your foes have had a moment to regroup as well. And you still haven't made it to the one place that you were trying to get to. I think the next step here is once the gang is feeling ready, they have to travel the labyrinth again.
Ooh.
Could I expend an item to maybe make our journey a tad easier?
What item? How are you expending it? And then I'll answer.
I think Jordan takes like one specific like harness belt off of his shirt, and it is actually the jacket, which no longer looks holographic. He takes that off, Looks at Tyrell is like, hey, if there's someone you don't like, I would consider it a personal favor and an option for you to make their life difficult if you just like gave them this and then hand that to him. Whether or not he uses it, I don't want to be so obviously and immediately recognizable as the dude with the holographic bright red jacket.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Tell him it's a gift and an award. It worked last time.
Additionally, if we do another delve, I'd like to do the delve because another travel. I'll do it because I'm fine marking a void.
Yeah.
I will also say, Psychopomp, I can travel any place I want when I travel the labyrinth, if I can mark void.
But you're close to your max void, right?
I am already at rank 3 now.
I'm one away from rank 3, so I should probably not do that.
Should also probably
As
do
fun as it
that.
is to step on regs.
Okay. It sounds like Jovan is. So who's rolling it? Jovan or Sushi?
I'm good to go. I think
Yeah.
there's a moment where Jovan's finished this thing and is eager to like test out how it works. So I'm gonna do a minor like use of it. And I think how it manifests is you would assume it would just be a blast of light, but I think the palm literally opens into an eye for a moment that shoots the blast of light, and it
Damn.
takes a second for it to close, and that's why it recharges.
Fucking
Dude,
incredible.
the fire
Okay.
was cool, but that new light shit, that's awesome.
Oh my.
I don't know if this is permanent.
It
Man.
feels
Well-
there's a fragility to it when you activate it. Okay. You still trying to get to the pale rose underlight?
That's a good question.
I think Sushi will speak up. While I was resting, I saw some interesting things.
What's that?
There's an area that looks cleaner by your standards, I imagine, that we haven't seen yet.
Who stands?
Definitely not mine.
People standards, generally, I assume.
Well, fair enough. I was also pondering, maybe we need to not stick out as much. Find some sort of disguises along the way.
My thought was we needed to start taking this place down, right? Like we did that last time by breaking shit. If we go somewhere important and start breaking stuff, that is our goal.
I would really hate to start swinging at something that's not important. I still think this Pale Rose is the best place to find what
Yeah,
is the important things to break.
I think we need to do a little bit more research before we do that. In order to do more research, we need to not be quite so perceptible.
That's
I
fair.
already got rid of the jacket.
My only thought was go find someone who looks important. Like remember how we had to do the copies of Quentin? If we
Yeah.
find something like that, I'm raring to go. No one ever
I
beats
think
me
the Pale
twice.
Rose is the best place to find that information, personally.
Maybe we can
Sounds
get some
good.
of those paper things that they were so concerned
could be
about.
helpful.
What are the? Is
Or
it like
break
those
whatever
weird
system they
card
used
things that
for it.
people like flashing in those smelly areas that you call bars? Bars.
A little, yeah. The one that has pictures of them and a bunch of numbers and dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little.
All right, I'll use my innate bar sense, and I'll try and travel the labyrinth.
Tickling.
Nate bars.
Jovan says that despite actually still never having drank alcohol yet.
I feel like at this point, like Sushi's just like, wait, but Scott goes to the bars more often than you, or at least smells like it.
So we have disadvantage on travel the labyrinth, correct?
You would, except that Jordan gave away a piece of equipment to avoid that fate. Uh, so
Someone else
um,
that Terrell
you are
doesn't
rolling
like.
with a -3,
I'm
unless
marking
you
void.
go and mark void, in which case you're rolling with a -1.
1.
Yeah, that's how math works.
That's maths.
That's math for you.
I marked
Mother
void and
damn.
still missed. Well, maybe an enforcer will come to us.
Okay.
We're not doing great this time at all. Whee!
On a 6-, I pick as many as I like. Okay,
That's ominous.
Oh.
That's ominous.
so
Fine.
no, not yet, not yet.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so
ominous.
you're making moves, right? You're scooting through the city. Y'all are putting on clothes to disguise yourselves. And eventually you make it through the crowds to the place that you intended to go to, which is the Pale Rose Underlight. It is very Mos Eisley Cantina. Duh. But you know how you know the uncomfortable degree of misogyny that's on display at Jabba's palace?
Ultimately, yes.
Yes. This is a place where like female bodies are on display. And the women involved clearly do not have a lot of control over the safety of the circumstances that they are in. And this is an incredibly normalized thing for this space. There is a sense of subservience to the people who come in here.
Could I ask a quick question? It's one of my you can always ask questions.
Absolutely.
Who here would appreciate a distraction? I just want to keep that in my pocket for later.
There are a couple of people working this space that they're doing their work and they're good at it, but things are clearly going to get out of hand if nothing intervenes. Nothing or no one intervenes.
Okay. Like I said, keep in that back pocket in case we need to do something.
You also, when you get here, you realize that there's a lot of people here, and at first it doesn't register as anything particularly important. But you look around and there's a lot of human faces. There's a lot of human faces. There weren't a lot of human faces around there before. They take all sorts of like shapes and colors. But let's be perfectly candid about this. The power is with them. You know what I mean? Lots of different looking people and looking men specifically. But the proximity to power among them mimics all of the unfortunate realities of like racial heteropatriarchy that we experience.
So the human faces are more powerful than all the other faces.
The human faces are masculine, They are more powerful. They are in positions of power, and they are communicating.
Oh my gosh, Table of Horrors. Also, thank you so much for the raid as well. Hello, welcome on
Hello,
in.
Table of Horrors.
Hello, table.
Welcome, welcome. Thank
You know what
thank
we
you.
find scary here at Neon Lights Roleplay?
Racial and gender homogeny.
Woo!
Hegemony, excuse me. Hegemony. Holding power. from everyone
Hegemony.
else.
Hegemony.
Homogeny also.
Homogeny
Yes,
also
It's
works.
both. I think
Hegemony is
yeah.
just a more accurate term, but yes, hegemony is inherently a homogeny. It seems. Anyways,
Homogeneous hegemony. Wow.
Yeah, that too.
That hurts
That's
my
similar
mouth to
Latin,
say.
right?
Hi.
That too.
Welcome. You find yourselves in a room with an enforcer. There's nope. That does. That'll do. Well, we see that you finally made it. Welcome, 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 welcome. These voices echo from around this space as
Oh, I don't like it.
individuals greet the group of you. You see movement by these human figures moving to block doors that you use to get in.
Uh-oh.
So
We're gonna be the distraction if we need to be. Don't worry about it, anyways.
Yeah.
the inhabitants are hostile to you. You are trapped here until you find a way out. The uncomfortable truth of this place, the way in which this misogyny and like right to be in charge has suffused this place, specifically as it pertains to women, is so clear as an important piece of Adam Cook's beliefs about the world. But it's also going to reveal something painful about yourselves. It doesn't necessarily have to be each of you, but there's something painful about this place. There's something painful that this place reveals about one or more of you. Tell me what it is.
I have one, and I don't know if now, and Jordan would look to the three of you to confirm if we need a distraction at this moment. But the thing about Jordan is like, yeah, he, by all intents and purposes, appears to be exactly the thing that this man values, and that kind of churns his stomach a little bit. Like, he is part of that. Not really. I mean, he's queer, he's neurodivergent, but like he looks like that, and if he's very, very careful, he can pass as that super easy, and he actively doesn't like it. Like, he's very like, that's upsetting that I'm the ideal citizen according to this
I
guy.
even think that a lot of this attention is directed towards you.
Oh yeah, like Jordan likes having this attention, but noticing he didn't do anything for any of it feels so wrong to him. Also, weirdly, he's like an older sibling with a bunch of younger siblings in the house he is. He's like, no, I don't. You shouldn't be doing this to me.
Anyone else?
It's good that Jordan is the center of attention, and in a way, it also feels bad. Like, everything about this space and place feels bad to Neela. She's glad to not be the center of attention, and also she doesn't like it. Like, it's like she is struggling with the duality, and I think she's just gonna kind of take that opportunity to kind of slink into the background a little bit and be a little less perceived if the opportunity truly does allow it.
Mm-hmm.
She froze once, she's not gonna freeze again if possible.
It's one each of us that we discover something, right?
It can
That's
be
right.
each and all of you. I'm absolutely giving people the opportunity to opt out if they're like, I can't come up with something, or I am not comfortable.
I think Jovan in this moment realizes that they do have like some biases from being in a more traditional upbringing and doesn't immediately see what's wrong until the uncomfortable energy like reaches Neela and is like, oh, right. Like was so focused on the like the not the racial aspect, but like the human versus non-human aspect, which ties into racial, that the misogyny flew over their head and was generally like a little unaware of that at first. And it takes realizing the effect it's having on other people for them to kick it up and get into like realizing.
Brava.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I
you
was just gonna
go.
confirm which move are we looking at, just so I can keep track of where we are.
Look at a move,
We're in
Yeah.
Travel the Labyrinth.
Okay.
And I'm just doing it. Reveals something painful about you. Say what?
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
And I think for Sushi, like Sushi's used to being overlooked. They've been a street cat for forever, maybe?
Yeah.
Not sure. But I think it's a little what Sushi realizes in this moment is something very similar to what Jovan realizes, which is that this is an uncomfortable energy, but Sushi doesn't understand why it's uncomfortable, and that doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jordan, you're being addressed. Hello. You made it.
I don't want to make this meta, but like I'm aware that everyone here is hostile and that we can't get out. Like that's a thing we know. Cool. He'll lean back very quickly to I think probably Neela and Sushi on his left, and Siobhan's right. Just like you're gonna have to get a way out. And Jordan's immediately going to try and take as much attention and center stage as possible. And if I need to, I will also use a shadow move, which will fill my void ticks and maybe gets me another rank, or is it when I go one over?
That's when you hit 5.
Yeah, this will be the 5, but I'm going to use Made You Look. When you make yourself the center of attention, mark void to pick one, the enemy reveals a hidden weakness. The enemy ignores your allies. Your allies have fleeting advantage on making use of this, though the enemy will act against you.
What are you picking?
I'm going to say that they ignore my... Well, they're already kind of doing that is the problem. Do I get the sense they're ignoring them, or they're just not talking to them? I kind of want to...
They're perfectly aware of your allies.
Then I'm going to make them ignore them. Jordan immediately is going to channel, like, the inner sleazy car salesman, like, that he possibly can, and just, like, roll with it. He hates himself here. He feels so gross doing this, but he's very much like, yeah, I'm glad I finally got recognized for this. You should definitely talk to me. I'm totally down with whatever is the vibe he's going for. He's like, yeah, I'm finally here. I'm glad I'm being recognized. What's up with this whole place, man? Acting as entitled as possible to try and give his friends a chance to figure out a way out of this shit.
This is just where we come to blow off steam. Of course, after we've been out blowing off steam. You should try it sometime. And the bodies of this enforcer are going to move and separate the rest of you from Jordan.
If we don't start with any sort of opening on this thing, do we?
What hidden truth is being revealed about the vassal here? Since we have reached a place that reveals a hidden truth about the vassal.
Yeah. So what I'm going for, right, is that there is no attention being paid to the well-being, right? Like everything about this place seems like it's above board as far as like
Legality
is considered.
Mm-hmm.
But like very clearly you feel it. These people are not safe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's legal as far as the law is concerned. Everything else is not.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't I don't want to put too many words to it, because I think there are a lot of ways in which that could manifest.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna lay it out there. If you're thinking it, there's a chance that you'll see it.
Yeah.
I would like to whisper to Neela and Sushi really quickly. If this does turn into a scuffle, which I think it's going to, this new thing I've got is pretty potent. If you can line me up and let me take shots, I think I can get some work done. I'm not going 0 for 2.
I think I've got something that'll give you an opening.
Jordan can't say anything. I don't know why I'm trying to whisper. He's occupying all of them right now as much as possible. He's about to do a stand-up set about how he deserves everything, and so does all of them. But
Actually, while I have you doing that,
Hmm.
What's the worst thing that you've said about one of your friends who's here?
trying to think what Jordan would have said. Because there's like little things. Like Neela's very motherly and kind of like overbearing at times, or Javon definitely has encouraged Jordan to be less responsible. But I feel like none of that really hits that barrier of like something that they wouldn't say about themselves. I mean, with permission for Leona, I think that he might have like dismissed, like, I don't know, like Neela's skills or talents in some way when
Yeah.
trying to like schmooze somebody, or like, because Jordan is new and he has definitely, before settling with this group, kind of looked around at all the social groups in the school. And Neela, being such a friendly person, I think probably had met her first out of this group casually, even if he connected through I have forgotten Scott. Through Scott. Like, Scott's how he really connected. He probably met Neela first and has said something effective like, yeah, I mean, she's fine, but you know, she's very like really in your business woman. Like, it was not flattering. Very much a very in your business busybody woman. Like, and it's very dismissive of the fact she really does care. And Jordan didn't
It is
really
easy.
know her.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is easy to both underestimate her and also like dismiss her because so much of her behavior can feel overly matriarchal and overly
Yeah.
busybody like
And it's
it
when
is
people
easy.
pick up on her,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's very easy
He played
to
into
put
that.
that. Yeah, it's very easy to put that stereotype on her, and I agree.
Yeah. I think that he's very much played into that while talking to groups of people in, say, school that were not friends or fans of Neela,
Mhm.
as trying to
Also,
like ingratiate himself a little bit before he decided that wasn't a group he wanted to be with, as he sort of shopped around.
Okay. So is somebody going to create an opening for Javon to fire off that weapon?
Yeah, I've got a
Research real quick, but I don't know.
I've got a move in mind.
Hit me.
Which is a castle move. It's calling upon. It's actually funny that Javon's kind of like pinging back to like previous things that we've done, because I think Neela is as well, and she's thinking about the last castle delve, and she's thinking about Alice, aka Leslie, who was bullied by Quentin, and she feels that. She feels that energy in this moment. And so she wants to call upon the chariot and that energy, and use that castle move, which I think, will this just stick it in the roll 20? Nope, it does not. Okay, never mind. I can read it out for you, though.
Yeah. Hit me.
It says, against an unbeatable foe, you become an unstoppable force. When you charge an enemy, roll plus swords. On a hit, you crash into them and push them far away from where they were. If you had an opening, exhaust it to pick one. I'm kind of twisting it a little bit because I'm using it to create an opening. But
Yeah,
I think it's what
I
Neela
love
would
that.
do. Neela in this moment wants to roar like a lion. She wants to scream. She wants to rage. She wants to be this violent, crashing, unstoppable force. Like she wants to just unleash hell right now. Like it
Tell
has
me
been
what it looks like.
simmering. I think she grows brighter. I think everything about her is suddenly electric. There are lights where you didn't expect it. There's electricity where you didn't expect it. Like there is genuine magical girl fire. Not energy, but fire. There's a fury there. And she pulls out her glaive, and if you'll permit, it's twice as big.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Everybody down!" and swings it around her head. Like anyone who is smart, and she trusts that the people who have that need for self-preservation in this scene will know what to do. And they will drop. And she is hoping that she is so sudden and unexpected that the men will not.
Yeah, you start crashing around like a tornado. Roll plus swords.
Yes'm.
I'd like to argue that my
Really
made you
quickly-
look would give her fleeting advantage on this. It looks like no one's paying attention to her. I'm just saying.
I was gonna do something similar because I did find the help out move, and we just intensified our crew covenant.
Do I remember
What
rolling
is
with
it?
advantage?
Which move
getting,
is it?
You're going to
Because
get an advantage.
I need to know what it is.
It's under general moves actually. It's help out. When you help another rebel take action, say what you do, and if your crew covenant is intense or bright, give them fleeting advantage.
Okay.
Feel
I
open
don't
to the
have that.
consequences, Goover.
I
Get
only
that.
brightened.
moves
To
on
be clear,
my-
I only ended up brightening Neela's covenant. Mine should have stayed at the same level. Is that correct?
Yeah. Correct.
So mine still faded. So I actually technically can't help anyone out.
Whoops. We'll
That's
get you
fine
next
for now
time.
because Jordan has drawn, as he often does, all of the attention to him.
Wait, Sushi. Just saying, can Sushi help out? Because
Yeah.
you want to roar like a tiger?
Let's go, girl.
She already has fleeting advantage, is what I'm saying. Wait for the next one.
Oh, that's fair.
You could always help
That's
me.
fair.
Yeah. Well, let's tag
um,
team it. Let's tag team it, folks.
Roll it.
Rolling with advantage. No.
That's amazing
Ah,
for the audience listening
it's
at home.
so good.
It does show up on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
goodness.
Someone's
so
looking,
right.
podcasting it.
I saw somebody earlier.
Oh, did someone give us a +1?
No, they
Oh,
gave us
no.
ears.
Oh,
So I
someone should
put
have
the
said
ears
Dog.
on. Corndog gave us ears and then left.
That's
Just want y'all to
incredible.
know this. That's what happened there. I did the ears ages ago. You're
Oh,
late.
I didn't notice. I'm sorry. This is in protest because Corn Dog didn't give us a +1. I hope she sees this later.
Okay. Here's the thing. I will let you create the opening.
Okay.
But they have an opening on you.
Yep. Fair.
And I need you to mark a condition.
All right. Sounds
All
good.
right. Sushi also. Wait. Did Sushi help in this one, or is that?
No.
No,
This
save
is
it.
fleeting advantage from the distraction.
Gotcha.
You actually technically all have fleeting advantage from that distraction.
Yeah, you all get one if you're
Oh,
acting
okay,
on it right
cool.
now.
I'm taking Angry as my condition. She's
I love
pissed
that.
now. She's pissed.
Perfect.
I'm ready
Okay.
to give it a strike as well. With
Let's
this fleeting
go!
advantage. I'd like to apply direct force. I think I grab my wrist or like up of the forearm. I charge this light beam and just like almost like a Mega Man charged blast. Just want to fire it into the crowd of these shitty people.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like a strike to me. You're taking advantage of an opening, with. Would you say this is direct force swords?
Definitely. I'm applying weapon to enemy.
Yeah. Do
A
it.
weak
Hey.
hit. I'm
Okay.
going for specifically not just the crowd. I want to because the whole crowd is the enforcer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I want to start eliminating its qualities so we can destroy the enforcer.
Okay. So, uh, oh man.
There's some cool things you could do here. I'm just saying.
Lots of really cool things you can do, though.
Uh, sorry, I have to double check which one of these qualities I want you to break. Um, okay. So you're gonna break the quality one of us. Um,
Oh boy.
so when this quality breaks,
That's very fitting.
the first thing that starts happening, every single one of you begin to see faces of men that you trust and respect, covering the faces of these men in this crowd. Yeah, that's what's happening. Who's next though?
Really quickly, what is the negative I get for doing a weak hit?
Oh yeah. The we're doing it, man. We're reshaping the arena. Much like Java's palace, the floor falls out from under all of you. And we are going to be dropped into a space where there is a new, like, hulking creature that is going to be running around and making a muck alongside of these many hundreds of men's. All right. Oh, okay. We got Leona back. Great.
Sorry.
No. Internet happens, right? Cool. Michelle, you haven't gotten an opportunity to act yet. What are you up
I
to?
have not. What I would like to do is line it up. So I think what this looks like is like Sushi sort of like as they're falling, like flips over, lands on their feet, and then is just going to take the time to not look at the faces, which have all turned into like what Sushi's looking at right now is just a whole bunch of faces of Andy Sky right now, and is very, very confused. There's just because it looks like Vandy, but the clothes don't look like Vandy at all, like not at all their style, and I think Sushi is just looking at the bodies more than the faces to just sort of see like what's going on here. So we're gonna go ahead and line it up then. Unless I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Go for it.
Awesome. And this is with fleeting advantage, so we're gonna go strong hit.
Strong hit!
Yeah.
Okay. So, say where it's coming from. Is it the environment? Is it a problem, a flaw in their fighting style, a chink in their armor? And then you get to pick one. Or I get to pick one. Wait, no, you get to pick one.
Yeah, I get to
The foe sends an attack your way. The opening only lasts a few moments, or the foe sees you, gain fleeting disadvantage on strike.
I think in this case, so Sushi's looking at their bodies, and I think what they see is sort of, I imagine it's that the way that they're dressed is, for, like, a cantina, very casual, right? They came here to, like, vent their stress. So they're not really well armored.
Okay.
And And I think it's with like I guess if I take some liberties here, it's with the kind of flowing fabric that's easy to cut up and like tangle.
Okay, sure. So they're wearing some like
Like the fancy suits, like you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
run around very well in them.
Yes. Great. Okay. That is the opening that's been spotted for you all. Is this overly fancy clothing?
Is it fleeting or is it? It seems more like maybe they see you out of those three, but
Yeah, and I think that
or
that,
they
that one
attack
makes
you.
sense. Especially because like Sushi's currently just like standing like making circles. Like you just like see this really large cat like going like
Okay.
looking like it's chasing its tail. Very
So
obvious.
it's not going to be the boys. It is going to be this large creature that has, uh is massive and has like claws and teeth. Those are its two qualities. It is going to come and try and like impale you on its claws. So, is Sushi going to dodge, or is somebody going to come to Sushi's aid?
I will always come to
Remind me, what's
Sushi's
the
aid.
role for us? Yeah, what's the role for us if we want to try and come to Sushi's aid?
Stand with me. It's plus cut.
Not good at that.
Let me check.
Javon, one trick pony.
My cups is a 0. I got you, Sush.
Sush, I like that.
It was bound to happen at some point. All right. Consent for me to roll?
Hit it. What are you doing
Alright.
to reach out to bolster your ally and defend them?
So because my internet dropped, brief recap for me.
So Jovan took out a quality. All of the faces of the boys in the room look like men that you know and respect.
Yuck.
The floor then fell out, and we're now in the Rancor pit, baby.
Okay.
From Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
Got you. Okay. And I think Sushi is currently trying to like give us that opening, right?
Sushi has done it.
Sushi has given you an opening, but
Okay.
that like giant creature
Right.
that's now here in the Thunderdome with you is trying to stab Sushi.
Stab. Okay. I can't tell. I try to debate between like just like a straight up like Sushi run or like a like something to like bolster. I guess it is bolstering Sushi is specifically what this is kind of looking for, isn't it?
Yeah. By the way, can I interject something here, Vermin?
Fine.
Am I allowed to activate Vandy's castle move, which is whenever I spot an opening with line it up, you also have to tell me a pain, inadequacy, or regret deeply held by the vassal.
Oh my god, I need to think about that one, but that rules.
Because
Yes,
you
you
get
absolutely
bleeding advantage
may
from making use
activate
of Mega
that.
City.
Give me a minute to think on that.
Really quick. Neela's still protecting her, probably.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thinky.
I know what the answer is.
Where? Okay, go ahead.
In that moment when you were a part of this network, you realized that like all of them felt like imposters. No one was as good as what they said they were good at as they said they were. Horror to Adam Cook's psychology is convincing not only everyone else, but convincing himself that he's actually as good at what he says he's good at. He's got to convince them that he's competent. Of course I'm competent.
Excellent.
Everybody else is an idiot.
Castle.
My code is great. It couldn't be wrong. All of those things are echoing and bouncing around inside of him. And they're echoing and bouncing around inside of the boys. They say that they're good, but they're getting by on having this network.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Neela.
and Neela, it clicks in Neela's brain as she goes in to say Sushi, and she goes, "Don't fall for the illusion." And as she says that, like to kind of try and bolster Sushi, she's gonna try to do her best to protect. I didn't roll, did I? I need to roll.
Yeah. Roll plus
Sorry.
cups.
Roll cups. Gotta roll the cups. Do I get fleeting advantage?
I think you used it on your last roll, didn't you?
I did. So I wasn't sure if we had gained another one somewhere. Okay.
Sadly, no.
Weak hit.
Great. So
just save
you pull her out of the way. Great. That's where we're gonna call it for tonight. As we're in the middle of this frenetic fight. So, everybody, it's time to sign off. Let's go in reverse order, starting with Tate.
Well, hello, Twitch, and hello, Internet. My name is Tate Washburn. You can find me on Twitter and any place I care to be found at Tate the Terrific. You can try and find me other places, but you'll never do it. I challenge you. Anyways, you can find me mostly on here right now. We have some other games sort of in the works or being like recorded in the background so we can release them, possibly for our Patreon. What you really do is follow this channel's Twitter at Neon Lights Our Play, because that's where a bunch of people much funnier and smarter than me announce a lot of stuff, make a lot of jokes. You could also join us on our Discord, where we do a lot of memeing, a lot of fun video sharing. We share resources, we share art, we do a lot of fun stuff. You should definitely join us there. It's also where we recruit people for future games and little sideshow things and stuff like that. So you should definitely do that if you're interested at all in tabletop RPGs. Other than that, I have been playing Jordan, the Harlequin, who is definitely burning the midnight oil, you could say, candle at both ends. He is not doing great, and that's on purpose. I will see you guys next time when we see how body horror I can get.
Hell yeah. Let's slide on down to Milan.
Speaking of memeing in the Discord, that's my greatest contribution to this organization. I'm a big fan of the works they do here. Tate's absolutely right. You should follow them on everything they do. I don't have any social media to shout out for myself because I'm not really making anything at the moment. But when I do, I'll be sure to mention it. But yeah, I'm Milan. Once again, they, them. Been playing Jovan. Also they, them. I was playing the Heretic Playbook. And I'm glad to have a weapon back, but we'll see what has to happen next.
Hell yeah. That means it's all you, Michelle.
Yo, hi, it's me, Michelle. I don't social media, so don't go looking for me anywhere except here. Here, yeah. Today I played Sushi, they, them pronouns, our wonderful cat, who is the Inhuman. Otherwise you can find me here, and you can find me here, and you can find me here.
Needs no social media. Cats don't have Twitter.
Yeah, they have
They don't
Y.
need it.
Bringing it full circle.
Oh my god.
Leona, it's all you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leona Neela Maple. I can be found all over the internet at the Leona Maple. And oh my goodness me, do I wear a lot of hats? Find me on socials. Do that. Or on my card, theleonamaple.card.co. And those are the best places in the world to keep up with what on earth it is that I'm doing, because I don't even know what I'm doing. I couldn't even begin to explain to you what it is that I am doing. If it's happening, you'll find out over there. We'll leave it at that. But I am your friendly magical girl, Neela. Signing off.
And hey everybody, I am the Legendary Vermin. You can find me as Legendary Vermin on all the places on the internet that matters, which of course includes itch.io, YouTube, Tumblr, I guess Twitter, if that even still counts, Bluesky. I'm everywhere. Please check out the games that we are doing over at Neon Lights. I'm in another campaign here that does big robots. I'm in another campaign over on Singularity Roleplay that does a slasher game where people are dying. It's great. That's all I've got to plug today. Have a wonderful night, everybody, and don't forget to fight the good fight. Later.
See ya, Straight God Foxy.